Good morning, sir.
Okay, just wait for one or two, then we'll start. I have made changes on the readings, no? So I changed the reference so that it will be divided into week per week readings, no? Instead of giving a bulk reading. So I decided to change and divided it into several small readings, no, per week. Okay, so as you have noticed, I changed the reference materials. Okay, let's just wait for 2 to 3. By the way, we are already full class. We have the 7th student, as you have noticed. Let me hear myself at the YouTube. Kasi last time we have a bad connection here. So I hope this time this will be a better connection. So nagpalit ako ng browser, baka naman sa browser issue lang ito. Anyway, we're still early, no? Or you're still 6 minutes earlier. You can still have a cup of coffee, or I think you have until 9:20 class, no? You have your Bible doctrine class, am I right? Jemel and Lediel.
Until 9.
Yeah. Anyway, you're still early by a few minutes, 5 minutes more. Then we will, perhaps we could start on time. Anyway, you're still early by a few minutes, 5 minutes more. Then we will, perhaps we could start on time. Okay, I think hopefully my broadcast would be clearer, no? So I'm recording this through our YouTube channel, CBC Ministries online page. Yeah, so okay lang, Jemuel. You could anyway, we still have 5 minutes. O, kapi-kapi lang, Maymay, ha? Kapi-kapi ka lang, kung gusto mo. Kapi-kapi ka lang dyan.
Nap na po, sir.
May 4 minutes pa naman tayo. We'll start by 9:20. Baka si Jemuel ayan. Okay, so kala ko Jemuel nagkapi ka eh. I noticed some of you have not submitted their diagnostic test, no? So ayan, so I'm still waiting for except for the new student, perhaps he didn't know, but yeah. So I hope you both of you have submitted their diagnostic test, no? So perhaps I will remind one, no? The chat group. We'll have few minutes. So I started early to test my broadcast, no? Last time we have a full connection, so I was not able to record all of our conversations. But this time I will make sure that it will be recorded for your purpose. We'll have few minutes. So I started early to test my broadcast. All right, so far on the YouTube it's still okay. By the way, where are you right now, Maymay? Anong location mo?
Wala po, sir. South Cotabato.
South Cotabato. Wow. How about you, Jemuel?
Andito lang po sa Bethany.
You're one of the house boys and girls.
No, sa Masbate po.
Masbate, but you're staying there at Bethany.
Yes po.
All right. So I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Week number 4 would be in person. No? So I'll be joining you at Bethany by starting week number 4. Kaya ngayon, sasagarin ko yung lectures, no? And then we will have much of drills and exercises when we meet. No? So, para at least maganda yun yung in-person talaga, no? At the same time, no, you could instantly give clarifications if there are may mga tanong. Right. Okay, so let's start our class. It's 9:20, no? So I hope our classmates are already communicating. I'll start with 9:21, siguro 1 minute. Nawawala na yung tawa-tawa ko. Ayun. Hindi siya, kasi I'm also live streaming using my sound card, no? So there's a clap, there's tawa-tawa, merong cheer. Meron pa dito, marami pa eh. Kaya lang yung iba, hindi siya masyadong wholesome. Laugh. Pero laugh and clap lang ako. I don't know if you're in your church, when you're live streaming during the lockdown, ay gumagamit kayo ng sound card. In my case, I use this because I have early morning devotion. If you have noticed, ayan, B8. Oo, B8 to. Sound card. B8 sound card ang tawag. Gumagamit. Kasi para sa ano rin to eh. Yung mga ganyang klase. And then pag may ipapasok ang input, no? So 2 inputs, no? So pwede siya. May mga kanta, yung mga background. Though I'm not into that. Alright, so sige, let's open a word of prayer. Let's pray, dedicate this time to the Lord. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity where we could continue our week number 2 for MAT121, College and Advanced Algebra. I pray for your grace and mercy, sufficiency, that we may learn and we be able to teach out of this experience, because our students will be sooner or later become teachers on their own classes, ministries, and school. So help us, Lord, by your grace, that they may fulfill their dreams and aspirations, these young people, that they will become the generation leaders of their respective churches. We dedicate this time to you. Continually guide us, even our thoughts, interaction, though this limited in online. So we are hoping that we may have more interaction on the coming weeks as we will have our face-to-face lectures. These are prayer in Christ's name. Amen. Okay, I don't know what happened to others. Huh? All right, so let me check here. Let me check my audio at the live stream. Okay, so let me check here. All right, so okay pa rin talaga yung audio ko, no? So talagang nadali lang ako ng browser issues last time. Kaya naglalag tayo, and then disconnection issues had been okay. Thank you for sending the link. Thank you. But if they have their Google Classroom, it's also found on the Google Classroom. So sometimes it automatically generates, no? May time kasi na nag-update yung link, so hindi siya fixed. But it will be automatic on our classroom. But thank you for sharing. Right, so let's start. So far, we will be discussing much. I-consume natin yung supposedly week 1 and 2. Anyway, these are easy items for you because this is easy because this is still part of your high school math. So this is just a preparation. Now, the approach here in college, it will be moving faster as compared to your high school math. Where in your high school math is you will study this for 1 year, but for college only for 1 semester. So that's the difference, no? That's the difference, guys. No, kaya yung pacing natin hindi medyo mabilis, no? So yung of course, as we go back to our good morning, Jo Marie and Aaron. Welcome to our class. All right, so far this is our course outline. Please do download the reference course outline. This will be our guide throughout the semester. No, kung nasa na ba tayo? So though it's already indicative of the uploads that we have made last time. No, I intentionally changed the readings so that it will be just a piece of reading per week. No, kasi yung una kong upload ay 5 weeks agad yon. So I don't think it will be digested properly. No? Instead, I look for a reference where I could have a chunk of a piece, a chunk of the subject per week. No? So that's my intention. Wait, I'm still configuring something here. We're live at our YouTube channel, CBC Ministries Online PH. It's found also on my wall. Now, the purpose of which is for recording purposes. Though yung mga profile nyo hindi naman makikita doon dahil screenshot. No? I just share the screen. And hopefully this would be a better way of recording. All right. Welcome, Val Jericho. Welcome. These are new no? Are you still in Cambodia, Val?
Yes po, Cambodia, sir.
Okay, welcome, Val, it's good thing that you're the 7th, no? So in numerology, 7 is what? How do you define number 7 in biblical numerology? So it's more on perfection or completion. So meaning you complete the class. That's the idea here. Yeah. Thank you, Val, for that. Also, Shadrach is joining us. Welcome, Shadrach. So we're still waiting for 1. So we're now 7 in the class. So that would make us a full class. It means good morning. It means that though in my class, honestly, when I teach tutorial and special class, I don't mind the hours. I could still maximize the synchronous learning up to 3 hours, even though tutorial, special, or regular class. It does not matter for me. Though the only implication for me, actually the only implication for professors is their allowances. No? The allowances of the professor, not really the salary, because this is a ministerial school, this is a church college. So the only difference is our allowance is relative to the number of assigned classes, assigned number of hours for the type of the class. If we have a full class, no, your professor will be receiving the 3 hours, no, for such allowance for 3 hours. But if you will be a special class, so it's just I think 1.5, and for tutorial only 1 hour. But for me, I don't mind. I don't mind teaching 3 hours in a tutorial class or a special class. No? But I'm glad that we are already a full class. No? And I know your professors for math will be glad as well, because we are full class already. Okay, welcome everyone. So far, we will be discussing algebraic expression. I will be 1 and 2. And then, Lord willing, so keep this copy as your guide, guys. No? So this will be your copy throughout the semester, so that we will be also, our time frame is based on this course outline or syllabus. Okay, so we will be discussing the contents for week 1 and 2, which is basically still part of our secondary mathematics, no? And then 3 starting next, Lord willing. Welcome James. James, how are you? Yan. So good morning to all. So I'm glad that all of you are present. And then week number 3 will be doing the exponent. I exported an application here we called MAT type, so that whenever I type some expressions, it will be much easier to me as far as perhaps sample or exercises. No? So we could utilize this MAT type, the one that is or from time to time we'll be using the calculator that I have shown to you last time at that calculator. But for samples, no, for mathematical editor, this is a good. You could utilize this. I think there's a free version of this, no, math type. No. Anyway, this is, I will also use this in my calculus class as well. So, yun. So there's a calculus there. Now, based on your upload, this is I uploaded this already. In fact, the entire week 18, week 1 to week 18, I already uploaded, or 17 because 18 is designated for final exam. I already uploaded all of your readings. No? So you could pace yourself, or the proper pacing of reading is your responsibility. Because of course, within the class hours, we may not take everything. But for your exploratory learning, so it's in fact, I'm expecting every one of you that you will do your readings. So that's why readings is 15% of your classes, of your grades, no, in my class, no. By the way, some of you have not submitted their diagnostic tests. I don't need to mention your name, but only 4 submitted. Of course, I would exempt Bal because he's just a newcomer. Bal, you take under the diagnostic folder, no. You answer it, and then your answer sheet you just scan or screenshot, take a photo of your answer and upload it to the submission folder. So there's a link under submission. You just upload your screenshot. Okay? Did you see that already on our classroom? For your diagnostic test, so that I may know your mathematical ability at the start of the class. Okay, so for those of you who have not submitted, please submit within this week, or perhaps you could submit today. I would appreciate that, so that I could check already, give you feedbacks immediately. So as soon as I all of your papers. Though I take note already those who submitted first, no, their diagnostic. Okay, makes sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right. So far, so maybe I could maximize this, no, for our maximum view. So algebraic expressions. So basically, it's a combination of ordinary and ordinary numbers, no, and numerics, the numericals, or also the symbols or letters. No? So normally we represent them as variables. So variables, these are algebraic expressions. So even constants are algebraic expression in itself. For instance, 3 is an algebraic expression, which is a constant. For this case, we have ample sample shown here on the screen. So we have, for instance, 3x squared minus 5xy plus 2y is an example of algebraic expression Of course, we could say more on this. Now, perhaps we may ask ourselves, how many terms are there on that expression? So the terms are actually dependent upon its separation of addition and subtraction. The fact that they have been separated, for instance, 3x squared first term minus 5xy second term plus 2y raised to 4 actually connotes three terms. So these are a three-term expression, or sometimes we call it a trinomial. The tri means three, nomial means nomos or number, no? So or term. No? So that's the case. So we could call it a trinomial. The second example is 2a cubed b to the fifth is actually a monomial because there's no addition, division, separation. And of course, the last example is considered a single term also, no? Because though it's a fractional part, no? It's a fractional part. It is not treated separately. It's treated as one term, although it's on a fraction, right? So these are all algebraic expression, no? So that we could have. No? We could start from a constant, no? And then a constant, any number, no? And we know already the family tree of numbers. I don't need to reiterate that had been taught to you, I suppose. So what are, by the way, sige, just to ask you, what are the two branches of number system? So it's separated by two. If we will separate numbers into two families, what are those family? General category of number. If you may still recall your high school math. Dilma, can you tell something about it? Numbers, and then what are the two general categories? If we're trying to think a family tree of numbers, what is the two main division? Or anyone could answer, you just raise your hand. O nahihiya yata si Maymay. What is the two main? Alright, anyone, guys? Oh, you don't need to Google it. Okay, Shadrach, add even, not yet. Numbers and variables, or I'm also only considering variables. So numbers. So number system, so there are only two. So also number system is called complex numbers. O yan, complex. Ano ba yung composition ng complex numbers? O you could chat or you could audibly answer. What composes of a complex number? All right? Can I hear from some of you? What composes of a complex number? So in the form of A plus BI. Di ba normal ang expression ng complex? A plus BI. Ano yung dalawang yon? Anong tawag dun sa A? O Shadrach, anong tawag dun sa A? Real numbers. Therefore, yung BI, ano yun? Ayan, correct. Jo Marie. No, real and imaginary. Alright. Then from real numbers, magba-branch out pa yan. No, magba-branch. Ano yung branch pa ng real numbers? You could answer Aaron, Jemuel, or Bal. So, or Jo Marie. You could, so, furthermore, when you branch out real numbers, all right? Oh. when you branch out a real number, so it becomes what? Yan, tama si Aaron. Rational and irrational numbers. Yan. And then from rational numbers, yan, marami nang nagbabranch out dyan. No? From rational number, it could be whole numbers, no? Papasok na yung integers, no? Etc. No? So, yun na yun. Tapos papasok na rin yung mga odd even, yung mga negative numbers, etc. So, but the main, the three levels out of the complex number, you have real and imaginary, and from real, you have rational and irrational numbers, and then and so on. So that would become a family tree. Now, okay, let's continue. Now, the term consists of products, no, and quotients. Yan. So tandaan natin, ang term consists of products and quotient. Katulad nitong 2a cubed b to the fourth, it's a term which comprises of products, or it could be quotient as well. Just like the last example here, it's one quotient, so it's a term of ordinary numbers and letters which represents. So these are the terms, no? So all of these are terms, no? They are not separated by any addition or subtraction operation. So there's considered a single term. An example. All right. So however, now if we will separate it by an algebraic expression that is separated by addition or subtraction, that will become two terms, just like this. 3x squared plus 7xy is actually two terms, right? And we call it, how do you call two-term expression?
Binomial, sir.
Okay, correct. Binomial. So it's a binomial, no? Here, thus this is a monomial, no? Monomial. So yung mga single term express are monomial. So because of this definition, monomials are sometimes called terms. So they are synonymous. Synonymous yan, algebraic terms and monomials. And of course, ito na yung sinabi ni Shadrach, binomial is an algebraic expression, right? So binomials, no? So by the way, yung dito ay may plus sign or minus sign pa yan, no? So nagkaroon lang ng and then and so on. Trinomial is an algebraic expression consisting of three. Trinomial, no? And so on. And then kapag lumagpas na sa 3, so we have multinomial, an algebraic expression consisting of more than one. If it is a more than one, the general category of monomial and then multinomial. Multinomial. Sometimes multinomial and polynomial are synonymous, no? But there are some certain difference that we will see later on, no? So but generally it's when it's more than one term, it's a multinomial. Yan, multinomial siya, no? All right, so terms. So one factor of a term is said to be the coefficient of the rest of the term. No, factor. So alam naman natin yung factor, it is actually part of the product. No? So for instance, you have 5x cubed y squared. So there are coefficients. No? Meron ka tinatawag na numerical coefficients. No? So pwede natin paghiwa-hiwalayin yan, no? Yung 5, yung x cubed, saka yung y squared. Okay, so there are coefficients or factors one to another to form a term. That is 5x cubed y squared. So pwede rin natin sabihin 5 times x times x times x times y times y. So pwedeng gano'n, pwedeng hiwa-hiwalay pa yon na mga factors. Alright? So, but of course, for you to form the term, no, yung natirang halimbawa, yung 4x cubed is the coefficient or factor of the other. No? Coefficient. At the same time, 5y squared is the coefficient of x cubed. So, kung anong kaparis ni 5y cubed para maging yung original term natin. So these are coefficients. And 5 is the coefficient of x cubed na nagkataon siyang constant coefficient x cubed y squared. No? So, ayan, the term consists of an ordinary number, one or more letters. We call numerical coefficient or simply the coefficient of the term. So, pag variables, normally we call it a coefficient. So there are other examples here, no? All right, so ayan, one or more like terms in an algebraic expression can be combined. We know this already. You have learned this. Pag like terms, the coefficient is the same. For instance, if we have ayan, for instance, if we have 3x squared minus 5x squared. So we know that these are similar terms, and we just operate whether add or subtract the numerical coefficient because they're similar terms. So obviously, this is 3 minus 5 or negative 2. Then you just copy the coefficient. Something like that, no? So, yeah, it may be combined using both addition and subtraction operation. Of course, if it's not similar, you cannot do this, no? You cannot just add the numerical coefficient if they are not similar. Now, this only apply to similar terms. So, yan. So, positive integer powers of variables multiplied by a factor not containing any variable or no variables at all. Yan. So, yan yung mga definition natin, no, ng term. Alright? So, ang exclusions niya, a term is supposedly integral, no, and rational in certain literals, no. So for instance, the term 6x squared y cubed, no, these are negative 5y to the fourth 7, negative 4x, square root of 3 x cubed, x cubed y to the 6, integral and rational in the variables present. However, we could say here that square root of x is not rational in x. Yan. And 4 over x is not integral in x. So meron mga exclusions, no? Mga exclusions tayo. Hindi integral, no? Kasi ang reference point natin yung variable, no? Dito, 3 square root of x is not rational. It's irrational. And 4 over x is not integral. It's not integral in x. Alright? So, yan yung makikita natin dyan. Kaya ngayon, dinifferentiate natin. Nagtatanong kayo, anong pagkakaiba ngayon ng polynomial? What's the difference between polynomial and multinomials? Alright? Now, here's the answer, no? So, polynomial is a monomial or a multinomial. No? It could be a category of monomial or multinomial, no? In which every term is integral and rational. So that would be the special type. Polynomial now becomes a special type of multinomial wherein the component should be integral and rational. There is a rational components. If there is one term that is irrational, it's no longer polynomial. If there's one term that is not integral, meaning it's more na fractional part in terms of the x or variable, it's no longer polynomial but still could be considered a multinomial. Okay, makes sense, guys? I hope you're getting the difference between multinomial and polynomial. Though I am not so sure if that had been explained to you previously on even your high school math. Now, sometimes we could take it synonymously. Synonyms, but basically, polynomial is basically integral and rational in all of these terms. Multinomial may not have that. Okay, another set of example here. So all of these example, they're integral and rational. No? So as I highlight, all of these are polynomials. No? And they're also multinomials at the same time. So polynomial is more of a special type of multinomial. All right? And then, however, 3x squared minus 4 over x, this is not integral anymore. So it fails to become a polynomial, though it's a multinomial. No? And 4 square root of y is not anymore a polynomial because it's not rational. It's an irrational term. So therefore, it's not a polynomial. Okay, guys, make sense? Can you make sense of the difference between polynomial and multinomial?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Aaron, for that response. Also, Ledilma, Maymay. Right, so I hope that's clear. Now let's proceed to the degree. The degree of the term corresponds to the sum of the exponents in that particular term. So when you sum up the power of each of the term, that will be the degree or power of that term. I repeat, the sum of the power of the individual variables is equivalent to the power or degree of that particular term. Okay? Let me state it in this example. 4x cubed y squared z. So if you will analyze, of course, constant has a 0 power or 0 degree. X cubed is basically third degree. So 3 plus 2 and z, you don't need to put raised to 1 in a term. It's obvious that's raised to 1 or first power. So you sum up all of this. So 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 6, meaning it's a 6 degree term or a 6 degree monomial. All right? So if the degree of a constant is basically 0, for instance, 6, 0, negative square root of 3, or even pi has a degree of 0. All right? So again, sound check na ako. 6 degree monomial. All right? Okay, makes sense, guys. So let's move on. The degree of polynomial is the same, no? But we will need to consider the highest degree term. So pag polynomial siya or multinomial, titingnan natin, we will look for the term that has the highest degree. And that will dictate the degree of the polynomial. For instance, for this case, no, so you have an example here, 7x cubed y squared, 4x z to the fifth, and 2x cubed y. So basically, we know that the power of the first term is 5 or degree. No? The second one is 6. And then you have the 4. So therefore, the polynomial is in 6 degree. Because the highest term will dictate the degree or power of the polynomial. Okay, make sense, guys? Anyway, I'm just reviewing. No, later on we will do some exercises pertaining to this. Oops, nawala yung ano ko. Okay, let's move. Anyway, this is the very file that I have uploaded. No, so if you have read this ahead of time, no, you could follow the flow of thought of this. No. All right, so degree, the groupings. Of course, there are hierarchy of groupings, guys. The inner group is parentheses, brackets, and braces. So these are the hierarchy of groupings. Normally, in simplification process of algebra expression, we go on with the inner group and then extended it to an outer group and then eventually the outermost group. So we don't solve first the outermost group. No? So that's a wrong approach, and I suppose you know that. No, but for here, yeah, for example, the sum of two algebra expressions. Okay, if I will put it here. Perhaps, yeah. Now, two algebraic expressions here. No? So from here, may be written as 5x squared. No? So we will put the parentheses. That's the primary. The first grouping symbol is parentheses. But of course, sometimes we make use vinculum, no? Yung special bar na yon. But no, in normal operation, we use parentheses first, and then if there are outer groupings, you include the bracket, and eventually you include braces. All right. How about if there are more? Guys, for a while, I need to answer a call. For a while. Hello, sir. Yes. Morning, sir. Yes, sir. Sige. Yes, sir. Ah. Ah. Okay, I'm back. All right. So normally, yon first primary grouping is parentheses and then bracket and then braces. No? So these are uh, those are we could do that. Okay, magsimula. Don't start with braces and then brackets and then parentheses. So we usually apply the hierarchy of grouping symbols, wherein we start with parentheses, inner group, the outer group is bracket and then parentheses. No. So okay. Now these are all already you knew it. You knew this already. The sample whenever a positive operation or addition is before a grouping symbol, there's no effect on when you will get rid of the parentheses or the grouping symbol. For this case, so if you will try to, of course, for the first group, no problem because there is no operation. Automatical, that's positive. This one, plus 4xy minus 3x cubed. So there's no effect. Okay, it will remain the same. However, for if subtraction operation is preceded it precedes the symbolic the grouping symbol, so it needs to change the sign. For instance, distributing this negative into 4xy, that would become negative 4xy plus 3x cubed. So instead of minus 3x cubed, that would become 3x cubed. All right, so is that clear, guys? No? So these are, I know you know this already. No? Okay, so this one, this is applying now the hierarchy. So for the textbook, he may use a higher grouping symbol. After parentheses, he decided to use braces. But basically, it's parentheses, brackets, and then braces. No? So normally, we approach this by solving the inner grouping symbol, 3x squared. By the way, who among you is using mobile? No? Are all of you using PC? Shadrach is using mobile as well as Bal. So your visualization may not that large. Sorry for that. So anyway, my screen is just Jo Marie. Okay, so some of you are using mobile. Anyway, pwede nyo, since in-upload ko na to, itong material na to, in-upload ko na, yan, you could always follow through, no, on your readings. No? So anyway, okay. I think okay, can I be heard? Okay ba yung audio ko?
Yes po.
Okay.
So,
Kaya medyo
Yes po, sir.
may disconnection issues eh. So anyway, so katulad nitong problem na to, yeah, so we could solve first for the inner grouping symbol here, which is negative 3x squared plus, no? We will apply the negative value, no? And then as soon as you simplify that, you could already solve for the outer grouping symbol. For this case, negative. So again, negative again. So we'll change the sign of those terms inside that grouping symbol for you to eliminate the grouping symbol. All right. So yan yung ating ano dyan. Anyway, if you have not catch it, you could still read. Now, for instance, these are examples. Algebra expressions. Okay, so I will leave on that. So normally we will write this as far as this approach. This is a better approach to solve basic operations, by aligning all of the similar terms. Okay, and then trying to solve them, getting the sum. So and then rewrite them in terms of the form. So normally there is a way to write a term, and I would like to note that we could write this in descending order. Okay, so there are proper ways of writing expression for this case. Though this is an answer, it's not yet the complete answer. We should follow. Now, if I will ask you, what will be the arranged answer if we will having the descending power of power arrangement of the term? What would be the, though this is already correct, no, though we need to arrange this such that it will be on the descending order, the descending order of power. Anyone could answer what will be the, though this is already an answer, no, based on the expression. But for you, we would like to arrange this no, in a distinct fashion. Meaning the highest power first, then second, and to the last. Okay, can you give me an answer? All right, so that would become negative of 5x cubed plus 4xy plus 5x. All right, so however, the problem, the first term is a negative term. Jo Marie, no? Paano natin i-eliminate yung problem ng first term negative? Though it's already chronological, it's descending, correct? But however, the first term is negative. So how will you address the issue of that? How will you address the issue? Okay, anyone could chat their answer. Okay, any idea? So tama na yung i-rearrange niya, no? Negative 5x cubed plus 5xy plus 5x. Correct. Pero there's a better way to, yan. Sige. Sige, anong mangyayari ngayon? Hindi, iba na yung sagot. Hindi na yan yung sagot. Pag tinanggal mo yun, pag reverse mo yung mga, when you take the negative sign on each of the term, it's no longer the answer. No? So, yan, a better way to present this is more on the factored form. You factor out negative. That's one. At the same time, you factor the common term. Okay? So the common term, aside from factoring out negative or negative 1 is 5. So that would become, so 5x cubed. So 5x cubed, yan, so that would become positive now, minus xy, and then minus x. Right? Make sense, guys? This is more simplified. Okay, thank you, Bal. Yan. This is more simplified. Although, what we have is already an answer. No? So, all right. So, we factor out negative, and if there are common terms, common coefficient, like 5, no, you could factor that out as well. So, that could be, all right. There are also other examples there. You may work on this. Multiplying is a lot easier in monomials, no? For multiplication in monomials, you simply need to multiply their numerical coefficients. For this case, the numerical coefficients is -3, 2, and -4. All right. So, and then for the variables, you just need to add their exponents. That's simplest thing to do. Add their exponents. All right. So for here, for x, 2 plus 4 plus 1. For y, 3 plus 4, 3 plus 1 plus 4. For z is 1 plus 2. So that will result to this final answer of 24x to the 7th, y to the 8th, z cubed. Yan. Okay, multiplication, this is more of a distributive sense, no? So we could skip that. But this time, if the problem is coming from the product, you don't need to simplify it as if you're factoring back again. So parang babalik dun sa dati, no? So perhaps you just need to arrange the power order. So for this case, so the first term should be, so either, okay, you could choose, guys. Let me ask you, what will be the first term? Since both are ninth power, so negative 20x to the fifth, y to the fourth, that is 9 power. 10x cubed, y to the 6 is 9 power, which we supposedly the first term. Both are ninth power. Okay, what would be the first term? Okay, for Jomari, it's the positive term. Who else has an idea? 10x cubed, y to the 6 is 9. All right? Who else has an idea? The positive term. Okay, that's a possibility, no? Since both are ninth degree. For my is also positive. All right? Other thoughts? Because both are ninth degree, no? Who else? And another option, perhaps, that you could offer. And this is mostly applied even in trinomials. Even in what you have learned on your algebra before, this principle is also applied. Okay? Okay, so I'll tell you. So if both are highest degree among the first variable, that's a better option. So if they're equal, the first variable is assigned x, therefore we will look at x, which is which among the term has a higher degree for x. For this case, it's negative 20x to the fifth, y to the fourth. So supposedly a negative term. But of course, pwede pa rin natin siyang i-factor out, no? Kasi yung 5, wag na natin i-factor out yung variable, babalik ka dun sa original problem. Hindi na gano'n. So it's more on it's more on the constant that will be factoring out, then the negative as well, and then okay na siya yung chronology niya, no? So basta ang format natin, guys, you just factor out the numerical coefficient that is common to all terms and then negative to get rid of the negative first term. All right? Okay, multiplying monomials, polynomial by another polynomial. So, okay, this is a visual presentation. No? So, we could always apply that here. All right? For this case, pag yung negative, no, pwede natin siyang gawing positive at get rid of that negative, put it outside the parentheses. No? Then another is division of, I need to move past, no? So I suppose you learned already this, no? I need to move past. In dividing, of course, we could divide the numericals first and then divide specifically for each variable. So this case, it was assigned x, y, and z. No? For a while, guys. All right. So for this case, no, so 24 over negative is negative 8 x. So x to the fourth divided by x to the x cubed. You just subtract the exponent, and then y squared over y to the fourth. So it's more on the denominator, y squared, and then z squared. Then combine them, that would become the answer. Now, dividing polynomial to polynomial, okay, there are steps here. And we may use the long division approach. Though we have not yet discussed factoring. It could be a process. Factoring is a methodology. But assuming that's non-factorable, so we may use of the long method approach as specified on your textbook. No? So we could say numerator over denominator is equal to the quotient plus remainder. So that will be your format there, no? Assuming, of course, this is not basically factorable, no? No, dahil may butal siya, no? There is a remainder. So, but you make use of this long method. Okay, have you experienced this, guys, using long method? So this is a long method of division, long method. All right, or perhaps you could just list the numericals on a descending fashion. That could be a better case. For this case, 2, -3, 1, 1, -2. You list the numerical coefficient knowing that there is no lacking powers of x there, and then the division. So you may do some synthetic division. Have you tried that? Have you tried synthetic? Yes, Jo Marie. Yan, synthetic division. So that could be applied, or it could be this traditional long division. All right? Okay, make sense, guys? Then we go on with the solve problems here. Okay, when we say evaluate, so it's the other way to substitute a value. Now, given x is equal to 2, and we could substitute it in a given, though this is already solved problem, so I suppose you will learn from the ideas of the solution. No? So I could move on. Okay, so I will move on. Since this already example, no? Okay, so without looking at the notes, yan, let's classify this to 2.2. So ito, more evaluation, guys. So you just substitute. No? So I think it will be easy for you. And I know, based on the result of your diagnostic test, I will know your competency in math. Or perhaps, yan, I may ask some of you to resubmit. No? If ever all of you will be submitting today, hopefully, no, as the soonest time you may submit, I could give you my the results of your diagnostic test. All right, so these are all substitutions. When you say evaluation, no, that's another term for substituting the value, the variable to a constant. Okay, let's move on here. Okay, without looking at the question, since this is the same material that I have uploaded, no? So I want you to classify this algebraic expression, no? Whether it's a monomial, binomial, trinomial, multinomial, and polynomial. All right, so let's start around robin. So I may ask Ledilma, Maymay, to answer letter A.
Letter A is a binomial po.
Binomial, other. Sige, may yes, it's a binomial. Ano pa? Is it a polynomial? Or a multinomial?
Multinomial.
Multinomial. Yes. Is it a polynomial?
Yes po, polynomial.
So tatlo siya. Binomial, polynomial, multinomial. Okay. Correct. Next, Aaron, for letter B.
Trinomial po.
Trinomial. What else? Oh, what else, Aaron? Aside from being a trinomial? Oh. Is it a polynomial, Aaron?
Yes po.
Yes. How about a multinomial? Is it a multinomial?
No po.
Oh, bakit hindi multinomial? We define multinomial as more than two terms. Two or more.
Okay po, sir.
So it's a multinomial. Okay, it's a multinomial. Next, Bal, for letter C.
It's just a term or monomial, sir.
Okay, monomial, correct. Or a term, yes. Correct? Jemuel, letter D.
Monomial.
Okay, what's letter D?
Monomial, sir.
Binomial? Monomial?
Monomial, sir.
Monomial. Are you sure? So for letter D, how many terms can you see? Is Y a term, Jemuel? Jemuel, is Y a term?
Why po?
Yes, it's a term. How about 3? Is it a term? Term ba siya? Oh, yan. Kapag ano yung audio, you could chat if you want, no? So both are terms, right? So how many terms? Ilang terms, Jemuel? Yung Y plus 3, dalawa. So ano siya? Anong tawag sa kanya? So kung dalawa, anong tawag?
Binomial, sir.
Binomial. Polynomial din ba siya? Or multinomial? Multinomial muna. Multinomial ba siya? Kasi binomial eh.
Yes, sir.
Oo. Kasi ang definition ng multinomial, two or more terms. So binomial is a two-term expression. Therefore, it is a multinomial. And it is also, is it a polynomial? Pag sinabing polynomial, ano yung dapat na characteristic niya? Each of the terms are integral and rational. Okay? So kapag may hindi integral at hindi rational, hindi siya polynomial. Yun yung pagkakaiba niya sa multinomial. So is it a polynomial? Ayan. Hindi, si Jemuel. I'll ask each one of you. Jemuel, is it a polynomial?
Yes po, sir.
Alright, yes. It's also a polynomial. Okay? Next, Shadrach, letter E.
Trinomial, sir.
Yes.
Multinomial
Yes.
and
Is it a polynomial?
yes, sir.
Are you sure? Take note.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, because there is a square root of z and it's not rational. So that will disqualify it from being a polynomial. Though it's a multinomial. It's a multinomial trinomial, but not a polynomial. Because for you to become a polynomial, for an expression to become a polynomial, there all of the terms needs to be integral and rational. At tandaan natin yung guys, integral, no, and rational, meaning hindi siya fractional with respect to the variable at rational siya. Now, what are those irrational terms? An example would be radicals. Another example would be logarithms, etc. So that would make the term irrational. Therefore, not a polynomial. Okay guys, so ngayong college, talagang siguro nung high school kayo, hindi nyo din na-differentiate ng maayos yan. Pero dito, you learn that a polynomial should be integral and rational. Multinomial does not need. No, basta number of terms lang yung kanya. Alright, let's move on. James, for letter F. So thanks guys, no, for all of have answered already. James, what's for letter F?
Binomial, sir.
Binomial and? Is it multinomial?
Polynomial.
Poly or multi?
Multinomial.
Multinomial. Is it polynomial?
Hindi po.
Alright, correct. Because of your y is 1 over y, it means it's not integral. No, it's more fractional. So it will not be on the category of polynomial. Okay? Okay, next, geometry for now, letter G. What's letter G, geometry? Okay, monomial only. Correct. Okay. So anyway, it's nandyan din yan sa book nyo, no? We're just trying to have a drill. Yan, nandito rin yan. Okay, so siguro dahil may access naman kayo doon sa solve problem, I will go on with the siguro I will go on with the, so you could always supplementary tayo. I need to open my files here. All right. So anyway, the solved problems are vivid. It's for your consideration. So let's move on here. Perhaps I would try to ask on the supplementary problems. Dito tayo. Kasi I suppose most of you have already read the material for week 1 and 2. So that will be our task. Okay, I want you to look first on supplementary problem. All right, so we are asked to, there's a given. I want each one of you, I'll be randomly giving you your items to solve, no? Okay, there are 8 sakto. So may 8. So siguro this time, okay, we'll start with geometry. Can you solve for letter A? So we have here a given of X, Y, Z, and A and B. Okay, can you evaluate letter A based on the given? All right, so you could take time if you want. So while waiting for geometry, perhaps James could solve for letter B. And then Shadrach for letter C, and then Jemuel for letter D. Okay, while waiting for Jo Marie. And then the other terms I will flash later because it's found on the next page. No? So this is just a simple evaluation problem, no? Where we could substitute the values. No? Okay, but others may already give the answer. No? So Jo Marie, James, Shadrach, and Jemuel. Okay, Jo Marie, negative 24, correct? Okay, James. Or Shadrach or Jemuel, you may give your answer no? As soon as time you're done. Okay, James, Shadrach, and Jemuel, please give the answer. James, you need to substitute the value to the expression, James. Given x, ito, given x, negative 1, y, z, 2. Yan ang applicable your item. You just need to substitute that to letter B. James, did you get it? So given na yung X, Y, and Z, you just need to substitute to the expression. You're working on letter B, no? Because Jo Marie already answered letter A. While waiting, Shadrach, you have an answer already for letter C? Or Gemwell, you have already an answer. Please tell the class. Okay, wala pa ba? Madali lang yan guys ha. Substitution lang yan, diretso. Iting letter E. Kaya lang, di makita yung ano. Ayan. So, Bal, can you answer letter E? While waiting for our classmates to give the answer. To give the answer. James, walang variable James kasi isa-substitute mo yung -1 eh. Can you hear me? All will be substituted to the expression.
Yes po, sir.
X is equal to -1, Y is equal to 3, Z is equal to 2. You just substitute it to the expression and then simplify. So that's the instruction. Okay, letter E. Gemwell, wait. Your letter D, no? Kaya nga, sagutin natin. We need some clarifications here. While waiting, ito na yung medyo pinaliitan ko. So, Val would take care of letter E, Aaron, letter F, and Ledilma, letter G. So, yeah, those are the, but let me, So letter C. Actually, simple yung sagot. Hindi ko alam bakit Corbal, teka. Letter E. Yeah, I will try to Sige, I will ito muna letter B. I'll help James on this. So yun ang expression, substitute lang natin, no? So negative 1 minus 3, tama? And then times 3 minus 2. And then 2 si Z, no? Minus negative 1, or let me replace plus 1, no? So that would be the case. So simplifying further, so this will become negative 4 times 1 times 3. So James, what's the answer supposedly for letter B? James, what's supposedly the answer?
Sir, pa ulit nga po, negative 4 times 1
Times 3.
times 3.
Oh,
12.
negative 12 is the answer. Okay? Okay, did you get it? Negative 12. I wonder why are you giving me variables a while ago, James?
Substitution, sir, sa Z.
Oo. Yung Z mo is equal to 2. Pero you need to substitute all variables. Wala ka dapat iiwan na variable doon na unsubstituted. Ibig sabihin ng evaluation. When you evaluate each algebraic expression, given the values for each variable, you need to substitute it, all of the variables, substitute it to that given expression, and then simplify. Okay, James?
Yes po.
Sige. Now, itong kay Shadrach, letter C tayo. So, A is 1/2, no? So, 9 times 1/2 times B squared, which is negative 2/3. Squared.
Sir, baliktad po yata. 2/3 po.
2/3. Yes. Thank you. 2/3. Can you flash again your answer, Shadrach? Mas simple yung sagot eh. Hindi siya fractional eh. So anyway, let's try to derive that. Plus 6 times 1/2 times negative 2/3. Right? And then minus 4 times 1/2 and then squared. Okay, so that will be the expression. No? So if we will try to analyze that, negative 2/3 squared is 4/9. 4/9, negative, but that's positive. 4/9 will be cancelled by 9, so that become 4. Okay, 4 na lang, times 1/2, 2. 2 na lang yung first expression. Tama ba? Then minus. Dito, magkakaroon ka ng cancellation sa 2 and 2. So matitira dyan, 6/3. Kaya lang may negative ka, kaya minus 3. Alright, yung susunod naman, so minus ba siya? Teka, plus pala to, plus. That's a mistake. So plus, tama no? So plus siya. Or minus, kasi nga plus. So 6/3 negative. So negative 2. Tama, negative 2. Kasi 6 times 1/2 is 3 times negative 2/3, tanggal si 3, magiging negative 2. Alright, correct. And then we have minus 4 times 1/2. 1/2 squared is 1/4 times 4 is 1. So that will become minus 1. Oh, Shadrach, what's the answer? What's the answer?
-1, sir.
Okay, that's the answer. Negative 1. Negative 1. Okay, gawin nyo na yung mga numbers assigned, no? So, next, kay Jemwell. Jemwell, can you flash again your answer for letter D?
Inuulit ko po, sir.
Inuulit. O, sige, sige. And then, Bal, you have already an answer?
Sir, I'll do it again, sir. I saw something mistaken.
Sige. Anyway, yan. Of course, Aaron is already working with letter F and Maymay on letter G. Oh, Maymay, pwede mo nang solve din yan. Give me the answer for letter G. Okay, while I'm working with letter D, no? So negative 1 times 3 squared, right? Minus 3, 3 times 2, no? Right, then we divide it by A plus B. So, 1/2. One half minus 2/3. 1/2 plus negative 2/3 or 2/3. Okay, simplifying that. So 3 squared is 9. 3 squared is 9 times negative 1, negative 9 minus 6. No, minus 6, that would be negative 15. 1/2 minus 2/3, least common denominator 6. You have 3, 6 minus 4, 6. So that would become negative 1/6. Right? Tama ba? Negative 1/6. Oh. So rule of fraction. So we will express this. We could simplify this such that. So negatives will cancel. What remains is 15 times 6. 15 times 6 now. Jemwell. Okay, 15 times 6 is 90. Actually, the answer is 90. Kindly check your solution, Jemwell. So the answer is 90. Okay, there might be some flaws on the substitution. You just need to verify. Okay, Lidilma, you have the answer? Kasi medyo madali yung letter G. Okay, Jamal, can you, for Aaron. Ang kay Aaron ay letter F. Malayo ang sagot, Aaron. Please recheck your answer. Letter F. Sa letter F, single digit lang ang sagot. Alright? May, nandiyan ka ba? Bigyan mo na ako ng sagot sa letter G. Wala yung tawag ko. Ayun. Okay, G. 3? Are you sure? You're dealing with fractions, May. What happened? So, fractions tayo eh. So, ang expected answer ay fraction. Alright? Oh. So, sabi dyan, 1 over x. Di 1 over... Oh, wait lang. Ayan. So, sige, tuloy ko pa rin to. 1 over negative 1. Oh, yan yun eh. Oh, plus. Oh, 1 over 3. Oh, plus 1 over 2. O, di ba? Madali lang siya. Equals negative 1 plus 1/3 plus 1/2. Get the least common denominator. May, what's the least common denominator of 3 and 2? Actually, yan din yung tanong ko dun sa previous problem. It's 6, right? So 1/3 becomes 2, 6, and 1/2 becomes 3, 6. Alright? So this would become plus 2 plus 3 over 6. So that becomes 5, 6. Eh kaya lang may negative 1 ka sa dulo. Anong sagot? Ano ngayon ang sagot? May. Alright, Jemuel, 90. 90 ang sagot. I don't know the decimal point. Siguro approximations. Pero ganito. No, ang approach natin sa ganito, you don't convert really to decimal. You simplify the fraction siguro. Kaya ka nagkakaroon ng mga decimal places because you're converting it to fraction, decimal equivalent. But I would suggest, just like what I'm showing here on the solution, you deal with fractions. Simplify fractions, then you arrive at 90. Exactly. Hindi siya yung may decimal place. Exactly 90 siya. Kaya nagkaroon ng ganyan kasi dinivide mo agad or you deal with the decimal equivalent rather than the fractions. Oh, May, your answer is negative 1 over 6. Alright? Oh, sige, din round robin naman. Letter H ka na, Jo Marie. Okay lang. You could solve for letter H. Sige, okay lang yan. For Aaron, okay, correct answer, negative 118. Yan, tama si Aaron, ha? Alright, so for letter H, yan, may sagot na agad si Jo Marie, negative 24 pips. That's the correct answer. Ano pa ba yung hindi natin na ano? Oh, yung ano na lang, yung kay Bal, no? Do you have an answer already, Bal? For letter E?
Yeah, the same answer, sir. I think mine is like 2.2 or 9 over 4, sir.
The same answer as before. Sige, let's look at that because my answer here is 11 pips. Let me check.
11 over 5, right, sir?
11 pips is the answer. No? Let me check on letter
Yes, sir.
E.
I also got that answer, but I'm not sure. That's why I chose the first one.
Sige, sige.
I
We'll,
actually have this to answer.
all right. So we will sige, we'll try to substitute first, no? We'll try to look into the, we will diagnose where we got error there, no? So for z is 2 times x plus y, that is negative 1 plus 3 plus 3, then all over 8 1 half squared. Okay, that's the first term. Then minus 3 times negative 1, or rather 1 half. So 3 times 1 half times negative 2/3. Okay, then this is all over y is 3 minus negative 1, which is plus 1. Okay, and then plus 1. That's supposedly our working equation, right? So if we'll try to simplify this, so the numerator first, so 2, so negative 1 plus 3 is 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. So you have 4 there, all over. So 1 half squared is 1/4, and 8 times 1/4 is 2. So 4 over 2. All right? Minus. So you have 3 halves. Then it will be cancelled with 2, and negative 2 will cancel. 3 and 3 will cancel. So what happened? What remains is negative 1. Negative 1. Yeah, negative 1 all over 5. Right? Tama ba? O nga, there might be, what's your answer? Ano? Baka mali yung libro ko. Mali. What's your answer there?
I have two answers, sir. One is 9 over 4 and 11 over 5.
Sige,
Basta
sige.
if I convert it to a decimal, it would be 2.2.
But take note, we don't usually convert to decimal when we solve. No, we practically solve through fractions. No, yun yung
Okay, sir.
dapat. No, you take note of that. We solve through fraction. Though you have your calculator with you have a liberality to use that. But in my case, you don't show me a decimal point, or it should be a simplified fractional form. So that would
It's only
be
in
a
fraction.
better presentation. Okay? Kasi
Okay, sir.
pag binigyan nyo ako ng decimal, if you give me a decimal place, it just means that you calculate it using calculator, no? But not really exert effort in computing using fractions, no? So though in your scientific you could also solve using fractions, no? Using fractions. So that will be over 5. Ayan, no? So it's 2, 4 over 2, or over 2. And then this one, everything is cancelled, no? Except for negative 1. And then 3. 3 minus 1, or negative. So over 5. So that becomes 2. 2 plus 1/5. Okay. So tama pa rin pala. 11/5 is the answer. So 2 plus 1/5. And of course, 2 and 1/5 in mixed form is 11/5. Okay, tama pa rin pala. 11/5 is the answer, Bal.
Thank you po.
Okay. Okay guys, I hope you're learning something on this drill, no? Yeah, hope you're learning something, new insights. Okay, the degree of the polynomial, you already have that. The degree, basically just looking at the highest term. All right? All right. So how about letter B? What will be the highest term there? 3 plus 3 is 6, so 6 degree. And then here, so obviously it's fifth degree. Here is 3 degrees, XYZ. Third degree yan. Then 10 cube. What's the degree of 10 cube, guys?
0.
Okay, tama. No, it's a 0 degrees. Okay, 0 degrees. May okay ba yung 1/6 kanina, yung sagot? Negative 1/6?
Yes po.
Okay, sige. So this time we remove the symbol. So I like this expression. So we have ano lang. Sige. That's 2. So sige, we'll try to ayan, since Jo Marie nakasagot na kanina, no? So siguro James, I want you to solve for letter A of 2.12. So removing grouping symbol, simplify the result. 2.12, letter A. Sige, Jemuel, you answer 2.12B. And Bal, you answer letter C. And then Ledilma, Maymay, you answer letter D. Okay, the instruction is to simplify by removing all of the grouping symbols. All right? Did you copy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's James, Jimwell, Bal, and Ledilma doing A, B, C, D respectively. Okay, while waiting, let's assign activities for Jomari, Shadrach, and Aaron as well. Okay, it's more on addition, no? Nako, haba ng letter C. Anyway, ano lang naman yan, variables lang, no? Okay, Aaron, you answer letter A, Shadrach, letter B, and Jo Marie, letter C for 2.13. The algebraic expression, meaning get the sum of all of the algebraic expression listed. All right, thank you. Then you just chat your answer immediately, no? The soonest time that you have the answer. Okay, can we hear from the first group? Yeah, I'm giving you ample time to solve this, no? Then afterwards, we'll be moving to a next topic, which is factoring in special number. You know this already, but it's worth reviewing. Okay, for Bal, 12x, that's letter C, no? Tama ba, Bal? 12x minus 5y, correct. For letter C of 2.12. That's correct. All right? So, okay, thank you, Bal, for that. 12x minus 5y, correct. Y, correct. For letter C. So my suggestion is for you to read until the solved problems, no? So for us, for you to practice it, no? So if there are items that needs to reconsider, and then I'll be allowing some supplementary problems later, which is actually the same solved problems, no? Different given, no? Different variables, but very similar to your solved problems. Ay, baka hindi pala nakikita minus dun. Okay, okay. We have some development. Okay, Bal, siguro sa connection. Yan. Okay, Jo Marie, what's your answer for letter A? Zero? Bakit naging zero? Hindi zero yan. Hindi zero. Sige, analyze natin, Jo Marie. Anong mga x mo dyan? X, ito, dito na natin solve by inspection. X, can you see? Sa ano? Teka, letter 2.13? 2.13. Hindi zero. Pero isang hint. It is a monomial. The answer is a monomial. Okay. Ayan, nagkamali ako doon. Sige. Yung kay James pala, letter A, James. Meron ka na bang sagot, James? Kasi umurong yung inyong positioning, no? So, ang hint ko sa iyo, Jo Marie, the answer is a monomial. Monomial. James, may sagot ka na ba? Ayan, you could reassess your solution. Sige. Ayan. James, baka pwede ka na mag-chat. None pa po. Okay. Sige. Tulungan na tayo. I'll help you on this. At tingnan mo yung screen, yung x, di ba? X minus negative x. Anong sagot? 2x, di ba? Minus negative x, 2x. Minus 3x. Okay, minus 3x. 2x minus 3x. Negative x. Okay, may negative x ka na. Tandaan mo, may negative x ka na. Ayan, may negative x. Tingnan natin yung y. Tingnan mo yung y, 3y. Minus 2y. Minus 2y is y na lang. Tapos, plus 2y. Y plus 2y, 3y. So, may 3y ka na, may minus x ka pa. Pagdating naman sa z, tatlo kasing variable, no? Negative z minus 3z. Alright? Negative z minus 3z is negative 4z. James, nagets mo ba? Negative 4z. Alright?
Okay po, sir.
Okay, plus 4z.
Opo. Negative 4z.
Di 0, di ba? So 0 ka sa z, pero meron kang y, 3y minus x. So that's the answer. 3y minus x, or pwedeng negative x plus 3y, pero ilalagay mo siya sa parentheses. That could be an answer. Okay? So yun yung sagot ko. Alright, so the answer there, ayan, so kay Jimwell, letter B. Actually, sa totoo lang, simplified ang sagot eh. Sige, isa-isahin ko na. Isa-isahin na natin. So, hopefully, you have worked it out already. For letter, sige, letter B. So, tingnan nyo For letter B, kay x muna tayo. X, 3x squared minus 4x squared is negative x squared. Tama ba? Negative x squared plus x squared, anong lumabas? 0, di ba? 0. So 0, wala ka ng x agad doon, wala ka ng x squared. Okay. Wala ng x squared, no? doon. So ang matitira diyan, mayroon kang component ng y squared saka yz. So ito naman, 3 times negative 2yz, 6yz. 6yz, and then negative 4 times negative 3 is positive. 12yz. No, negative 6yz plus 12yz. No? Plus 12yz. So negative 6yz plus minus 12 negative 6yz plus 12yz is positive 6yz. Alright, may 6yz ka na. May 6yz ka na kasi yung x squared mo 0 na eh. And then you have 3y squared minus so positive 4y squared. And 3y squared plus 4y squared is 7y squared plus y squared. That would be equal to 8y squared. So the answer, I'll just chat it here. So the answer for letter B, 2.12, letter B. Letter B. Kanino ko ba inassign yon yung letter B? Of 2.12? Jemuel. Yan. Is actually equivalent to, so 8y squared plus 6yz. So that's the answer. No? I chatted it already. Okay? Now letter C. Letter C tayo. So sino yung letter C ng 12.2? Kindly raise your hand. Alright? So walang ako. Sige. So 3x. Ayan. So ito solvein muna natin yung yung loob niya. So 2y. I think I need to put it here. Yan, 3x plus 4y. Yan, plus 3. Gumamit siya ng brace. Gagamit din tayo ng brace. X minus 2y.
That's my answer.
Kanina? What's your answer ba dito? 12x minus no? Yes. It's answered already. Thank you, Val. No? Thank you. Okay. Yung pala yung sagot. Yes. Nasagot na pala yon. Yun yung unang sagot. Letter D. Who's letter D? Of 2.12. Ayan. You have an answer already, Maymay?
-y po.
Alright. So, letter D. So, meron kang X component, meron pa rin Y component. Doon. Okay. So, sige, natin yan. Tingnan natin. Alright. So from here, 3 minus 2x times 1. So yan, pwede na natin i-penetrate yun, no? Minus x minus y. Ayan. Plus x minus 2y. So pwede dire-diretso na yan, no? Right? Right. So 3 minus 2x times 1 minus x minus y plus x plus 2y. No? So pwede na siyang gano'n. No? Then, multiply 2x. So of course, meron ka pa ring bracket doon, saka pa ring braces. Simplify natin yan. Simplify natin yung loob ng bracket. So cancel si x. Okay, pagsamahin natin negative y saka negative 2y, that becomes negative 3y. Alright, negative 3y. Okay, negative 3y. Alright, so x 3 minus 2x para may kulang to na symbol. Pero sige pa, ano na lang natin to. Pangatawan na lang natin kasi parang I think may kulang na symbol dun. Could be minus or plus. Pero ito na yung gamitin natin. So minus 3y. Alright. So tanggal si x. So may 3y ka. So kung di-distribute mo yan, so 2x minus 6 6xy. Ayan. So yan may ang sagot. So we have 3 minus 2x at 3x 6y. So pwede na nating rearrange yan, no? Kasi 6xy minus 2x. Pero dun sa notes nyo, meron yatang symbol, no? So nakaligtaan lang dito. Alright? So pero kung may symbol yon, may ibang sagot, no? Pero kung papangatawanan natin as multiplication symbol ito, so ganito yung magiging sagot, may. So plus 3. So that would be your answer. Okay? Sige, let's jump to 12. May sumagot na ba nung 2.13a?
Ako, sir, B po.
You have letter B sa'yo. Alright, so let me check your answer. Parang komplikading sagot mo. Shadrach or letter B? Para kasi product ba't nagkaroon ka ng ibang variable doon? Do yung iba dito, okay, simulan natin sa letter A squared. A squared, may A squared ka dito. Pagdating sa second term, wala kang A squared, so no problem. Minus A squared, so wala nang A squared. Meron pa pala. So tanggal, no? So plus A squared minus A squared. So meron kang isang A squared na sagot. Alright? Meron kang isang A squared na sagot. Okay, how about AB? Yung AB naman, negative AB plus 2AB. So 1AB na lang. No, plus AB. AB plus AB, 2AB. And then, meron kang negative 2AB dito, 0. No 2AB. Tama ba, Shadrach? Walang kang 2AB. So, pero meron ka na kaninang A squared. No, tandaan mo na yun, A squared. No? And then next, 2BC. 2BC minus 3BC is negative BC. Negative BC minus 4BC is negative 5BC plus 5BC, 0. Alright? 0 siya. So for BC. Okay? How about C squared? Ayan. So C squared dito. So 3C squared minus 4C squared is negative C squared plus tama ba? So 3C squared minus 4C squared is negative C squared plus C squared, 0. Okay, 0. Then you have 2C squared. So 2C squared. So meron ka ng A squared, meron ka ng B squared, and then meron ka pang 2C squared. So, tandaan mo yon, yung mga component na yon. Ano pang, ay wala pa palang B. Wala pang B squared. So, A squared, tapos 0 na yung iba, and then 2C squared. The next, ano ba? Let's survey kung ano pa yung iba nating hindi na-touch. Aside from this 4, so meron ka pang B squared. Ayan, B squared. So, B squared, wala nang ibang B squared. Isa lang. Alright, so let's finalize. Let's bolt in. What remains is A squared plus B squared plus 2C squared. That's the answer, Shadrach.
Okay po. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Ngayon tong 13, no? Ito, yung 213C. Alright? Sino ba yung kanino naka-assign to? 213C? Okay, so kay Jo Marie. So ang sagot niya ay AB C squared. Yan, tama yan. ABC squared. Now for letter C. Okay? So sige. So yun yung ating dyan, no? So the rest, yan, similar problems naman to. Pero I intentionally crafted until problem solving lang dun sa notes nyo, no? Para may flexibility. No? Ayan, indicated division, nandyan din naman yun. No? We have sample indicated division. Alright? Then division. So, at least you have multiple, yan, ito na yung supplementary problem na sagot. Right? Sige, I will move on with the next. Now, I basically would introduce, after this, after we have learned about concepts on terms, expressions, yan, as we go back to our outcome-based syllabus. So we have these terms already. Constants, variables. Now, variables are actually letters. So you could assign letters, meaning they have different values depending on the expression or equation, yung variables. Kaya nga siya variable, nagbabago siya. Unlike constant, it's fixed. No? If 2 is applied to an equation, it's still 2 when applied to another expression. But when you assign an x, that's a variable, it may vary depending on the equation. Of course, the difference between monomial, we have all of this already. No? And then fundamental operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And then we have the factoring. Of course, special products also. No? So yan muna yung, kasi part pa rin yung multiplication process, yung special product. No? And then factoring. Okay, we could do that. Okay, so of course, we still have less than an hour for our class. I hope you could do advanced reading. No, I would appreciate if you could read ahead of time and be ready for supplementary problems assigned to you. So how will you do that? You need to practice on the solved problems that I have given to you, including the lecture. No? So yun yung key doon. Kasi yung supplementary naman, halos pareho lang siya nung solved. So, nagkakaiba-iba doon sa yun lang sa content. Okay? So we're now with factoring, no? Special products. Right? So ito na yung 1-B mo. No, yung 1-B doon sa inano natin, in-upload natin. So special products. So bakit siya naging special? Kasi there's a certain format. There's a certain format and we could apply the format to specific problems in special products. No, kasi hindi siya ordinary, no? Yun yung ibig sabihin nun. No? It's not really but there is a pattern, no, that we could follow so that we could solve problems in multiplying polynomials with monomial, with binomial to another binomial, etc. and etc. Right? So these are the categories, no, product of a monomial and a binomial. So when we multiply a single term or a term to a binomial, of course, that's a basic idea of multiplying, distribution. No, the idea of distributing monomial to each of the terms of a binomial or a polynomial. It could be the product of the sum and difference of two terms. No? This one, this example here, is actually a product of monomial and binomial. And then this a misprint, I think. No? So part 2 would be the sum and difference of two terms. That will result to, what do you call this? A squared minus b squared. What do you call that format? James, can you still recall yung a squared b squared? Anong tawag doon? James or Maymay could answer. What do you call a squared b squared? If a plus b times a minus b is the product of the sum and difference of a term, the result would be, or anyone could answer. Ayan, but if you will look carefully on the expression, nandiyan yung sagot. Ano tong a squared minus b squared? What do you call that? Yes, of course, it's a product, but I would like to know the specific. What would be the specific product when you multiply the sum and a difference of a term? Now, what would be the result? Of course, everything is product because we are dealing with a special product. But what would be the specific term for this? A squared minus b squared. Now, by looking at the variable, you could know. That's a description already. Okay, anyone? Yes, it's a monomial. No, it's not a monomial term. No, it's not even a binomial. Yeah, it's a binomial, but a product that's binomial. Specifically, I want a specific answer. I want a specific answer. All right? So, sirat na? Okay, whenever, kasi dapat, pag pumasok tayo ng factoring, magre-reverse lang yung process, no? So now, given is the sum and difference of a binomial or a term, that will result to what? Now, that will result to the difference of two squares. Yan, tama si, squares formula. Yan, tama si Bal. Correct, Bal. Difference of two squares. Alright, that's the result. That's the tandem. Because in factoring, the initial condition is the difference of two squares. When you factor it out, it will result to sum and difference of a term. Right? And then we have the square. The third category is a square of a binomial. When you square a binomial, it will result to this pattern. Square of the first term plus or minus, depending on the middle term, the operation inside the binomial, whether it's plus or a minus, that will change on this trinomial. So the square of the first term plus or minus twice the product of the first and the second term plus the square of the second term. So remember that pattern. So it will be always a pattern when you square a binomial. You square the first term, then add it to the product of twice of first and second term, and then add it to the product or add it to the square of the last term or the second term. And anong tawag naman dito? What do you call the product? Kung kanina, a while ago, nadi-disconnect yung camera ko pala. Wait lang. Wait lang. Okay, sound check. I have some issues with my no? Check sound 1 2. Check sound 1 2. Check sound. Sound check. Wait lang guys. Saglit lang. Sound check 1 2. Sound check. Yan. Can you hear me, guys? Okay lang ba audio ko?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Oh, how do you call the product? Oh, guys, how do you call the product of the square of a binomial? How do you call the product? So if for number 2, the sum and difference of two terms is the difference of two squares, what will be the product of a square of a binomial? How do you call that? Oh, you could chat your answer. Kasi you need to understand this, no? Para pag when I will lecture on factoring by next week. So you will be okay na 'yon. So walang malilito doon. What is when you square a binomial, what will be the result? Okay? Oh, Bal, you may want to answer. Oh, polynomial. No. Specifically, what type of polynomial? I'm referring to this, the last expression we have, the square of a binomial. The result will be, oh, that's a description, but how will you call that in simple term, Jomari? And Bal, how will you, and Jimwell, what specific term, what specific polynomial would be the square of the first and the last term and twice the first and the last term? Yan, perfect square trinomial. Correct. That's the specific answer. The perfect trinomial square is the result of squaring a binomial. Alright? So, perfect trinomial square to. Yan, no? A squared minus 2ab plus 2b is a perfect trinomial square. Now, when we will go to factoring, it will be, again, we will return to a square of a binomial. Ganun lang siya. Alright? O yan, applied also for both positive and negative. It interchange. Now, when it's a plus, everything is a plus. When it's a minus, there will be an alternating plus, minus, plus, as specified here on this example or model. All right? Next category, so we have monomial by binomial. We have sum and difference of a term that will result to difference of two squares. Thirdly, we have the square of a binomial that will result to perfect trinomial square. Now, fourthly, is a product of two binomials. Yan. So these are more of a categorization. No? So they are not considered part of type 2 or type 3. No? This is just a common trinomial. No? So that would be the case. No? So product of two binomials with one unknown here. So x is just the variable. So you will just make use. I think there is a method here in solving. May tawag dyan eh. Your high school teacher may recall there must be your teachers taught you about dealing with two binomials. Getting the product of two binomials. First, the first term, and the next is, what would be the next? After solving for the product of the first term, and then sum of the product of the means and the extremes. Okay, you sum it up. That's why you have a plus bx there. you sum the product of the means and the extremes. And lastly, the product of the last terms, which is AB. All right? So that's the pattern. I think there's an acronym for that. Not so sure, no? It had been taught in high school, no? I forgot the acronym. Ano nga bang acronym nun? Tama, Paul. Yes. Tama, Aaron. Yes. You remind me of Paul. So, Paul is first term, product of first term. Then the outer terms get the product. And then the inner terms get the product. But eventually, you merge O and I. And then the last terms, product. Okay, correct. Paul method. It's good, Aaron, that you remember. No? Right? As for me, I've been a high school student since 1991. So it will be hard for me sometimes to recall things. These are Paul method. All right? So the first example is when x numerical coefficient is 1. So this will be the format. However, when your x has a numerical coefficient respectively such that you have ax plus b equal to cx plus d. So this will be the format. Again, first term, outer term, then inner term, and then the last term, products. Okay, the FOIL method, correct? And then this one, if there are no variables, no, same thing applied, no? So if there are no variable x, same thing applied. First term, outer, or pwede rin naman inner muna. And then ito, outer yung AD niya. And then BD is the last term product. Okay? Okay, guys. So some clarification before we continue. Clarification. So we're dealing with special products, part of the fundamental operations for algebraic expression. All right? So, yan, you could just chat there if you have concerns. And then next, aside from the square of a binomial, you also have a cube. So, of course, if you have a cube of a binomial, that will result to a perfect, hindi na perfect trinomial square, a perfect polynomial cube. Yan, a perfect polynomial cube. So, that would be the concept there, no? So, or a perfect multinomial cube or polynomial. I think polynomial is more appropriate. So when you cube a binomial, that will result to the perfect polynomial cube. No? Take note of the terms, the cube of the first term, and then 3 times the square of the first times the last, plus 3 times the first times the square of the last, and then cube of the last term. So there is a progression of the descending order of powers of A and then ascending power of B. Again, it will interchange depending on the sign or the operation. Or plus or minus here, it will be an alternating, it's a minus, it will be an alternating plus, minus, plus, minus. But if it is a plus on the operation, okay, it will be consistently a positive operation or addition operation. Okay, so that's the cube of a binomial. Then you have also a specific case for a square of a trinomial. All right, a square of a trinomial. So this is just an expanded version of the square of a binomial. Sir, how can you say that this is an expanded expression? Of course, A plus B could be grouped into 1. So that will become A plus B group into 1 plus C, so that you could treat that as a binomial. And then you just expand the square sooner or later. So let me try to prove this to you, no? So if that would be the case, so if I will try to so that will be a square. So ayan, no? A plus B squared. Okay, plus so perfect prime square of a trinomial is just an expansion of the square of a binomial, no? Ay, sorry, not yet. Alright. Okay. Di pa pala yung square doon. Wala pa square doon. Alright. So how will you apply here the square of a binomial? Of course, following the pattern that we have. So the square of the first, that is A plus B, plus twice of the first and the last term. Alright? Times C there. And then the square of the last. Okay, the square of the last. Then, of course, we need to expand the first term, A plus B squared. So that will become A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. Then you expand the middle term, now plus 2AC plus 2BC. Alright? And then the last term, which is C squared. Alright, so we just need to rearrange that such that there will be powers of 2 first. All of the powers of 2, though all of them are equivalent. So this is how to rearrange that. A squared. Then plus B squared plus C. And then look for the terms. Alright, so 2AB plus 2AC plus 2BC. So those are the descending order. Of course, we first consider the power of A, then the power of B, the power of C, and then descending order. So 2AB is more on the descending or alphabetical listing. 2AB is first, then 2AC. And then much on the last portion is 2BC. Okay guys, makes sense? How we derive the square of a trinomial? So this is based on the expanded version of a square of a binomial that has AB treated as one term and then plus C. Okay guys, make sense? So that's how we do it. Yan. Okay, products yielding to A raised to N plus minus BN. So merong mga gantong cases. Okay? And then we could have several. So this is, it will not result to perfect cube or perfect square, but difference of two cubes. No? Similar to your difference of two squares. Now take note of the pattern. No? It's always on this form. No? It could be A plus B or A minus B, and then there is a counterpart pattern. No? So if you will continue this, ayan, so A minus B, so meron siyang counterpart dito na puro positive. Pag plus naman yon, meron siyang alternate dito na minus. No, plus minus plus. No, kapag positive yung A minus B. Pero dito A minus B, so automatic yung kapartner niya ng mga polynomials is all positive. Alright? So yan yung, that's the case for this one. Similarly, yun nga, I was saying to you, we could verify this also. So this time, A plus B naman, there's a partner but it's an alternate. Take note, the numerical coefficient is always 1. So wala kang numerical coefficient dyan na less greater than 1. All numerical coefficient is 1 because there will be a sort of cancellation in between. And take note of the progress of the descending order. A squared minus AB, 1 na lang siya, and then B squared. Then for the case of this, A to the fourth minus A cubed B plus A squared B squared minus A, so it's an alternating plus minus, no? A squared B squared minus AB squared plus B to the fourth. So I suppose you notice the pattern, no? Yung summarization. Okay, solve problems. Let's move on to the similar. You could read that. I suppose you have a reading on that. So we'll go on with our, perhaps we could still have a rundown of questions. These are already solved problem for you, so no problem about that. So factoring. Factoring na pala yung kasunod. Okay, supplementary problems. So you need to verify, no? So anyway, so more on verification pala to, no? So kahit hindi niyo na ano to. So may papasolve na lang ako sa inyong mga problems dito. So I could look at some of the details here regarding factoring. So these are more of a multiple choice problem. Let me see if I okay, so these are board problems. Papalakihan ko lang, no? And it's choice, no? So yeah, so we could have a rundown of these problems. All right. Teka. So these are all fundamentals of algebra pa rin to, no? Other that, so perhaps we could may simultaneous solution na pala siya. So I think I could be select this. Okay, so pwede tayo magkaroon ng selection. Okay, for a while lang guys. Okay, so far do you have some clarity on the special products? So we will try to solve them. Of course, a part of your reading is your solve problem. Hindi ko na uulitin yung solve problem guys ha. So magbibigay na lang ako ng supplementary sa inyo. Kasi yung solve problem, nandiyan na yung sagot, nandiyan na yung solution. So ang gagawin nyo na lang, babasahin nyo na lang. So I don't need to read that anymore. No? So hindi na, kasi it will be so maraming kaya fundamentals of algebra tayo. Yan. Okay. So there are a lot of items here that include some other aspects. No? All right. So there are descriptions here. So I may choose, no, from time to time. Sige, nasa na ba yung aking dito? Okay, are you ready guys? You just tell me your answer, no? Okay, who would like to volunteer? Sige, volunteer to answer. Number 51. Basic naman siya. Okay, Mike, can you answer 51? In fact, it could be solved mentally, no? Tama? Ayan, sige, sige. We'll wait for you. So by this time, you could already write mathematical expressions, no? No, through a description, perhaps this one, 16 is 4 more than 4x, find 5x minus 1. So, yeah, it's actually a board exam of electronics engineering, 1999. Okay. Dyan lang guys. Ha? Okay, I will not hindi visible yan. You just look at the screen. Enough na yung solve problems dun sa notes. Then you could explore, no? I will be giving much of this when we meet on the printed copies, no? You'll see printed copies of this way on our face to face. No, so for me, sufficient na yung solve problems, no? So, kasi of course I cannot give all of this to you. So, syempre. Though you may free to use other sources, no? Online. No? So marami yan. Okay, I will not Okay, my answer please. Can you type your mathematical sentence, equation? What is 16 is 4 more than 4x? Ayan. Can you type that, the equation on the chat box, my? Though these materials, I may share this before the examination period, not during the lecture period, no, but in your preparation for your prelim, because your examinations will be in multiple choice format. So this is more of a resemblance of that. So all questions will be in multiple choice format. Though from time to time I may require solutions, but still in multiple choice format. Okay, my okay na ba? Yung ano mo, yung equation mo, 16 16 is 4 more than x. Ano yan? How you translate that into an equation? Okay, so yan, correct. Yan, 4x kulang. 16 is 4x plus 4 is equal to 16. Alright? So yan, Gemma has an answer already. Sige, type mo lang yung ano, 16 is equal to 4x plus 4. Then we could solve for x. Then x is equal to 3. Substitute it to 5x minus 1, that's equal to 14. Okay? So yung ano natin dito, so yung first equation mo, 16 is equal to 4x plus 4. Kasi 16 is, take note, 16 is. So indicative of an equal sign. No, tandaan natin yan. So from here, we could solve for x equal to 3, then substitute it to 5x, that is 5x minus 1, minus 1 is equal to 14. No? So the answer, Dremel is correct on that. Alright? Okay, so we will not touch anything yet of equation. So wala pa tayo dito eh. So kasi ito halo-halo siya. Continuous, no? Yan, lalo na yung 3 unknowns, no? Yan, we will solve even we will learn techniques how to solve this, no? Yung mga equations na ganyan. So number 60 is actually a special product, but this is more on a binary, a product of a binomial. All right, can you solve this? Yeah, who's around there? Oh, Aaron, can you solve this? Number 60. This is more of a product, getting the product. Okay, what is that geometry? Hindi ko maintindihan yung message mo, Jomari. Can you expound? Ano yung ibig mo sabihin? Yung bang item natin? Is that something to do with our problem? Sa item 53. Okay. Sige. Hindi. I'm not requiring 53 kasi ano pa to eh. It's more on solving for x. So itong 60 60 This one, 60. Item 60. So I would like to focus on item 60. So this is pertaining to actually wala. Kung in number 53 wala. But sige, let's focus here. Who would like to Aaron, can you solve this? 60? Number 60?
Sorry, doon po.
Sige. Okay, Aaron, what's your first term? By inspection? Okay, your first term, what's your first term? FOIL, using FOIL method? Oh, correct. Sige, tuloy mo na. Tuloy mo na. 10x squared, then yan. So 10x squared plus no, it's a plus 21y xy minus 10y squared. Correct. Right? So, ano pa? Sige, babalikan natin yung exponential na yan. No? Not yet. Okay, so this time, sa factoring. This more on sa factoring. Babalikan din natin. Ito, exponent. So, ano ba to? Later pa yan. Okay, this is a tricky question, no? 65. So, but this involves exponents. I suppose you still, though we will be learning on exponents and radicals on week number 3. Week number 3 and 4, no? So, and 5. Sige, wag muna to, wag muna. Actually, I'm just surveying some question items, no? Kasi more on ano na to, no? Partial fraction. So that involves factoring din. Right. Hopefully, I could have some sensible test items here, no? Ito, can you give me a past answer? Obviously, what's the answer? Obviously, for 75. What's the obvious answer? Ayan, so sige, you could just type. Yan, B. Oh, correct. So it's B, no? So it's a board exam problem. So ganun lang kadali. Pero hindi lahat ng tanong sa board exam madadali. Nagkataon lang to. O ito, 76. So hindi ko aning choices. Anong factor ng kasi if we're dealing with special product, we're dealing with factors also, factoring. What's the probable dapat pala ipakita ko yung next page nandun na. Anong probable factors nitong x squared plus 6x plus 8? So you could type there in the chat box. Kasi when we're dealing special product, it's just an opposite of factoring, no? So we need to understand both operations. Getting the product and then knowing its factors so that through factoring you may simplify properly the expressions, no? All right, so please give me an answer. Factor. So ang clue dyan, how will you do this? First is to know the factors of x squared. Obviously, it's x and x. And then what are the factors of 8? So 1, 4, 2, 4, 8. So, pero ang tatanong sa sarili nyo, when you get the sum of those factors, the answer is the middle term. Right? And the middle term is 6. The only factors that could satisfy that is 2 and 4. Yan. Alright? So 2 and 4. So obviously, the answer is x plus 2 plus times x plus 4 or x plus 4 times x plus 2. Correct? Ito, this had been given in the simple recall lang to, guys. 77 is a simple recall. What is the answer? Give me the letter of the correct choice. See, that's I've shown that a while ago. Okay? Since it's a minus, now it's a minus, it's an alternate positive minus, positive minus. So obviously, yeah, you could have a choice there. The only one that could qualify is letter D. So Jo Marie and Lidilma or Maymay. Yeah, so letter D is the only correct item there because it's the only alternate positive negative there. No? So letter D. So even in board exam, no, that rote memorization may be applied. This is an exploratory question wherein we are asked to solve for the value of k that it will be a perfect square. Okay, 78. Sige nga. Please answer. You have the choices there. So we could. So this is an application of your special product, no, and factoring in reverse. So 78. So what will what will be the value of k such that it will become a perfect square? All right. So okay, I could give you time, though we don't have much time. You need to practice, guys. I would suggest you you look into the solved problems, all of the solved problems, you practice, and then be ready for supplements and some exercises like this. If you will have face-to-face, I'll be giving you printout exercises as well, knowing that you already advanced your reading because the readings for week 1 to 18 or 17 had been already, okay, some may answer letter C or 9, all right? Sige, other thoughts on this? So, C or 9 is their answer because it's somewhat perfect. Pero ang 36 naman, perfect din. Oh, ang 2.25, perfect din. Ang 2.5 ang hindi perfect. Tama? So, out of the choices, B is not perfect. So, it's out. So, it's only between A, C, and D. And these are also perfect. Paano naging perfect yung 2.25? O sige, kunin mo yung square root niyan. Oh, so, meron siya. Though decimal form nga lang, hindi siya integral. No? Alright? So, it's between 36, 9, and 2.25. I think you need to recompute, guys. Yeah, you need to recompute on this. Alright? So, my is letter A. Oh, may letter A na. Oh. Sige, I will solve this for you. Right. So, we start here. Okay, how will you solve that? So, we start here with an equation. A quadratic equation, we will equate it to 0. Because if that would be 0, you could solve for the value of the k. No? But of course, we're not okay, for the value of k, for us to know that item to make it perfect. All right. So for this case, you have 4x squared. We will subject this to multiplication. 4 4x squared plus 6x, okay, then plus k is equal to 0. Why we need to equate to 0? That's why, so that we may factor out k. No? So pwede natin factor out si k. So, all right. From there, so in fact, we cannot apply completion of square unless your x is equal to 1. Take note, we cannot apply completion of square unless x is equal to 1. Okay? So, mahirapan tayo. Kaya kailangan natin siyang i-divide by 4. So, from there, x squared na lang siya. And then, you have 6 over 4. It's 3 halves or 1.5. 1.5 x. Then, of course, this one is, that will be 0.25 or 1/4 plus 0.25k is equal to 0. Okay, from there, ayan guys, pwede na natin i-complete siya. We could already complete the square. No? So how to complete the square? Get half of the middle term, and square it. No, half of the middle term and square it. So what would be the half of the middle term is 0.75. And what is, all right? And ayan. So So we could get the by squaring, no? So yung half of 0.5. So magiging ano yan, no? Ang idea diyan, kukunin mo yung middle term, 0.5, get half of it and divide it by 2. Get half and square it. So that becomes 0.75 or 3/4 squared. And what is 3/4 squared? Or that is yan. So that's 1.5 because 1.5 is 3 halves, nagiging 3/4 squared. And 3/4 squared is what would be so 3/4 squared is 9/16. However, if we will try to analyze this expression, no? So parang ano tumutugma na yung 14 ano doon, no? Okay. So yung negative, yan ang i-equate natin doon sa 0.25k. Okay? So yan yung supposedly we are expecting 0.75 squared as the last term. That is equivalent to 0.25k. Ayun, yun yung nagigets ba guys? So actually I'm just trying to equate what is expected of the last term by getting half of the middle term and square it, and that will result to 0.75 squared, no? And that 0.75 squared, or siguro ito na lang para ito yung supposedly middle term, no? Yan ang equate natin doon sa point. Okay, so ito yung equate natin. Ito kasi middle term, no? Sorry for that. So ito yung equate natin sa 0.25k. Then we could solve for k. Okay? So yan yung nakikita ko dyan na approach na makikita natin. No? So of course, solving that, so that would be 0.75 squared divided by 0.25. Okay? That would be equal to k. So, alam niyo na ang sagot, guys. Obvious ba yung sagot? Alright, so yan yung ano natin. So we'll try to solve that. So anong sagot dyan, guys? So kasi 1/4 yan eh. Wala sa choices. Nasabi ni Jo Marie, di po yung sagot. So Shadrach has 2.25. Yan yung tamang sagot. 2.25. So if we'll try to sige, calculator natin to. Buksan ko si calculator ko ha. Solving for k. Okay guys, ito yung calculate natin. Yung itong sum niya, no? Okay? So that would become 0.75 squared divided by 0.25. So 9/4 ang sagot or equal to 2.25. Alright? So tama si ano. Yan, letter D. Yan. So Shadrach and my mind. Got it. Okay? So at least, siguro may ano kayo, no? Okay sa inyo itong ano. Yung ating so emulators. So just PM me if you would like to have a copy of the emulator. So, pwede naman siya. Though it's not a crack edition, no? It's actually a registered edition. Yan, 2.25. Okay? Alright, so okay guys, I think that's time. So thank you. We will continue more on factoring by next time. So that's special product. In a way, I'm just reviewing you. I'm not really trying to reteach what you have learned in special product. So by next week, Lord willing, we'll be focusing on factoring. Factoring tayo kasi week 1 and 2. So though habol tayo factoring, no? And then after factoring, we'll be having loss of exponent and radicals already. So immediate yan. Half portion factoring, reinforcement ng special product, and then loss of exponent. So we'll try to follow the strictly rigorously our schedule, no, for week 3 and 5 to 5, which is exponents and radicals. Okay guys, thank you so much. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your participation. Alright, sinong nawala dyan? Si James, baka yung connectivity issue lang siguro yan. Alright. Sige, let's close in a word of prayer. Sige, I think one of you is a pastor. Who is a pastor here? Jemuel, is that you? Is that you? Are you a pastor? Ayan, sige, can you close us in a word of prayer, Jemuel?
Let us pray. Dear God, Father, sorry about that. Let's pray. Dear God, Father, we thank you for this ang muling Panginoon, maraming salamat po sa iyong kabutihan na binigyan mo sa amin. Salamat po sa bawat isa ng dito. At Panginoon, nagbibigyan po kami ng nakalakasan sa aming pagpatuloy sa pagkalasa sa Panginoon. Panginoon, patawad po sa mga kasalanan.
Okay, amen. Guys, I'll see you next week. God bless you. Thank you so much, no? Bye-bye. See you next week.